Swords. Everyone and his brother wants a sword on their arms. Now let me back up, and there's a little bit of actual historical anthropology there. Swords, first of all, swords in heraldry, in real life heraldry, are not quite as common as they are in the SCA in some respects, but they're absolutely historical. We have them recorded. I've seen rolls of arms with just swords after swords after swords in them. Swords are a cultural icon for a very important reason. They represent the first tool ever made by man that was specifically designed for the sole purpose of visiting violence on another person. Almost every other tool we have, especially in the pre-industrial record, certainly could be used in warfare. Anything can be used in violence, but the sword was an expensive, extremely expensive, all metal blade that only had one use, and that use was combat against another person. Spears, we know yes, you can use a spear in warfare. Spear, up until firearms, was the backbone of any military. But spears, we know, evolved from hunting tools. Bows and arrows, we know, evolved from hunter-gatherer hunting tools. It's a matter of accepted archaeological fact. So, even knives, the ability to cut something, yes, as a weapon is a powerful tool, but we know that knives evolved from the ability to butcher kills among the hunter-gatherer tribes. So the sword has always held a strong iconic status as a dedicated weapon of war, and that is why it is such a powerful heraldic charge. Today we can all talk about buying a sword, but you have to understand, especially in the earlier cultures, when you talk about Egypt, Babylon, Mesopotamia, early China, pre-imperial China, the cost of making a sword, an individual sword, and the cost of knowing how to use it, of schooling yourself in the art of swordsmanship, was so high that it was reserved for the elite. It was simply, its price tag was so high that only the elite of the elite could use it, and only the elite could afford to have one. That's why armies that had swords were so rare. Most armies were spearmen or other much less expensive weapons, and were led by people today we would retroactively call officers, who led with a sword. And that is why the iconography of someone leading a charge with a sword drawn is so powerful. There are 20th century photographs of European officers, and in some cases American officers, leading infantry charges in World War I and World War II with swords drawn as their men are charging in with rifles. That's how long-standing the sword is. So the idea that we in the SCA want to include swords on our heraldry as prolifically as many of us do is by no means a unexpected thing.